Additionally to what I just said, the executive order, getting rid of the word plantations, I've directed the state's Department of Administration to issue mandatory implicit bias training for all state employees and to build a plan for more comprehensive equity training. Let's be honest with ourselves. Sometimes we don't even recognize our bias. We're blind to it. We have a blind, we're not aware. So everyone's going to get this training, so we're a little bit more aware in executive office employees. Secondly, the Colonel of the State Police is here, Jim Manny. I've asked the Colonel to form a community outreach team that will engage community leaders about how the state police can better serve communities. And I want to thank you, Jim, for your leadership. I've also tasked Colonel Manny with developing a plan and exploring grants and other funding resources to equip the Rhode Island State Police troopers with body cameras, building on our existing efforts to increase accountability within the department. Now, I know you're going to say that's not enough, and I'm going to agree with you, but it's a step, and both of those are important steps to move in the right direction. And I want to single out Rep. Williams on this, it's time to reform our Law Enforcement Officers' Bill of Rights. And you have my full support, Anastasia, on that. To ensure that officers have a greater level of accountability to the citizens that they serve. Transparency and accountability. And here's another important thing. You know, I don't in any way want to minimize police brutality on the basis of race. I don't. But it isn't just that. It's about jobs and housing and education and economic equality. And so when I became governor, one of the things that I looked at was how little business the state did with minority-owned businesses. Vendors still do, but let me tell you what we've done. Since I've been governor, we focused on increasing the number of businesses that the state, minority-owned businesses that the state does business with. I'm proud to say that we've seen a 60% increase in the number of registered MBE businesses and a more than tripling of the work that the state awards to minority-owned businesses. But still, we need to do more. I'll be the first to agree with you, Joe. We need to do more. I'm proud of the doubling. I'm proud of the tripling. But let's do more. So I'm announcing that we are also going to conduct a comprehensive study called the Disparity Study of all state contracting practices to ensure that minority-owned businesses have an equal shot at procurement opportunities. This is the first of its kind study in the state of Rhode Island in nearly 30 years. And it is an important step to doing more to make sure that there is no discrimination on the basis of gender or race in the way the state does business, and to look for ways to give opportunity to minority-owned businesses. And I'll be the first to say there's a long way to go. In addition to what I said, it's also health care. We have to address racial disparities in our health care system, which has taken on a whole new urgency during COVID. We need to provide job training and educational opportunities to people of color. Some of you here helped me get passed a few years ago the Promise Program, 2 years of community college, tuition free. In the couple of years we've had that, we have seen an increase in the on-time graduation rate among students of color of 500%. Wow. 500%. These are kids who are smart, who want a chance. Maybe they don't have a lot of money. And as I've always said, the hardest part of college shouldn't be paying for it. They don't want a handout. They want a chance to get a diploma and a decent job. And I want your continued support for that program. It's set to expire this year, and we got to re-up it so kids can continue to get a chance. It is violence in the police department, but it is housing, education, infrastructure, healthcare, jobs, opportunity. It's equity across everything that we do. That's what we're here to pledge. Action against an agenda of equity. Here's the last thing I'll say. None of this is going to happen overnight. And I'll be the first to say there's been more we could have done and more we need to do still. But I do know this. Now, with what we're living through as a nation, as a state and as a nation, it's a moment. It's a moment we have to take advantage of to drive action. It's a moment that people's eyes are open again to the reality of racism, how real and present and hurtful that it is. And it's on all of us, every one of you here, myself included, to recommit ourselves today to doing the work that is necessary to build a more equitable and fair Rhode Island. And so that's what I'm here today to tell you what I'm doing via executive order, but also what I hope that we will do together as a community.